Oh, Diana, will you come lie down with me?
I will.
Yay.
I will.
Right.
Oh, God, this is nice. I wish all my entrances started with a toilet flush. Now presenting.
Sex positive culture.
It's my body to give.
Are threesome gifts a thing?
Taking a bath.
I like your bed.
Horizontal.
This is Horizontal with Lila.
Horizontal is about intimate relationships of all kinds. It's slow radio. It's like consensual eavesdropping. It's us lying down, sharing secrets in your ears. Each full-length recording is a conversation of between 3 and 5 hours long, divided into 2 episodes. Part 1, available in all the podcast places. Part 2, available exclusively to patrons of the Horizontal Arts. And at the very end of those Part 2s, I ask my guest to tell me a story. Occasionally, I release a quickie episode. A quickie is just the story. Or in this case, stories, as she was feeling a bit inspired. This particular quickie episode was recorded live at my Horizontal Storytelling Pajama Party of February 2018. In this quickie, I lie down with Diana O. Diana O is a force. An instigator, an activist, an actress, a musician, a singer, a creator of myriad kinds. She's an interpreter and also a maker. A sensual, gutsy, and glorious queer theater maker, happening-curator, and music creator. Since Diana uses both she and they pronouns, I will use them interchangeably. They are the architect of my lingerie play, a series of installations, performances. Fuck.
Sorry, I can only search by topic for movies.
Siri. They are the architect of my lingerie play, a series of installations, performances, and concerts profiled in places like Upworthy and the New York Times, which includes public declarations of lingerie, body positivity, and standing for the right to walk down the fucking street without being harassed. Recently, they hosted a series of slumber parties, can you see why she's a woman after my own heart, and called them the Infinite Love Party. I love that. I love that so much. And they looked incredibly glorious. I've had a horizontal sleepover in the works for a while, and this coming Sunday, September 29th, from 5 to 8 p.m. at Hacienda Studio in Brooklyn, I'm hosting Horizontal and Chill. #not a play party. It's a 3-hour sleepover. We'll have connection games, a cheeky film screening, massage toys, a hot tub, and surprises, which may or may not include a serenade or two. You can get all the details on horizontalwithlila.com or through the Facebook page or the link in my Instagram bio. I first saw Diana perform in a staged reading of a musical over a decade ago in a teeny tiny black box theater in the very West Village. I don't remember the plot. I don't recall the music. I only vaguely remember who I was with. What I do have memory of, vividly, viscerally, is Diana's sensuality. As she sang and flipped her hair to the side and cocked her head, smiled and rocked her body to the beat, her sensuality penetrated every crevice of that space. And I wondered, do I want to be her? Do I want to kiss her? I think what I admire the most about Diana is her refusal to color in the lines of your medium. Her whole career seems to say, why can't these things go together? Obviously they fucking can. I'm going to put them together and see what happens. Is it a play? Is it a concert? Performance art? An installation? A happening? Yes. Yes, it is. Find all things Diana at dianao.co. Not .com, .co, C-O, it rhymes. For the visuals, point yourself to her Instagram, Oh Yeah Diana. spelled OHYEADIANA. As usual, everything will be linked in the blog post on horizontalwithlila.com. You can also be part of her multidisciplinary glory by becoming her patron at patreon.com/DianaO. That's Diana OH. As you know if you've been listening, Patreon is like the love child of crowdfunding and a subscription service. In order to receive access to all the Part 2 episodes of Horizontal, as well as a personal happy dance video and monthly intimacy tips, become a patron of the Horizontal Arts on patreon.com/horizontalwithlila. Patreon is spelled patreon.com/horizontalwithlila. You can search for Diana OH on Patreon, but you have to type mine in perfectly because I am relegated to the ghetto of sex-positive creators on Patreon. It doesn't matter if we're providing sex ed. It doesn't matter if our work is not explicit. It doesn't even matter if we hide all our content and only make it available to patrons, as I have done after they froze my account last year for 6 weeks. Patreon hides the profiles of any adult creator and makes it impossible to search for our work because we are categorized that way. So, in order to support our sensual sensory work, find us on patreon.com/DianaOH and patreon.com/horizontalwithlila. In this quickie, Diana tells us stories about queer liberation, reparations, sex in a theater, and inviting a room full of corporate people out on a date. Now, come lie down with us live at Horizontal Storytelling in Bushwick, Brooklyn.
You have a really good listening face.
Oh, thanks.
It's like been so nice watching you listen.
Like a face made for radio kind of a thing.
No, like a face made for this exact thing that you're doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Now what?
Diana, will you tell me a story?
Yeah, I will. Can I keep holding your hand?
Yes.
Okay. I will. I wasn't going to tell this one, but I'm feeling really inspired by this room and how much I need this room because it's not the norm yet. Yeah. But it will be. We just got to keep fucking. So okay, and this is going to be a really good one. It's going to be really inspiring, and we're going to feel really, really great. And I'm so happy. Yeah, and I feel like I can't ever share this story in a lot of the spaces that I'm in, which is fucked up. Okay, so I do this thing called my lingerie play, which is these underground street installations in my lingerie that then culminate into a big concert about my actual lingerie collection and my songs and my rock band. And it's like so awesome and so great and like la, la, la. And I just did it this past year in 2017 and staged all the street installations anew. And we traveled to the White House, New Orleans, and Virginia, and we did all this freaky queer shit. And then the concert was at this theater downtown. And I'm a little nervous about naming the theater because of what happened. So we did it in this great, awesome theater downtown. Mm-hmm. Concert was stellar. And part of the concert, there's a section in it where we do these super sexy, hot, enthusiastic consent workshops. And I bring an audience member on stage who, raises their hand, volunteering to make out with me on stage. And I walk them through consent and we like do it and it's hot and we make out and it's the best time of my life. And this person raised their hand, and someone call out a gender-neutral name. John Lee Alex. Let's call it John Lee Alex. So gender-neutral John Lee Alex, non-binary John Lee Alex is like, fume, hand raise. And I'm like, John Lee Alex, I've had a crush on you ever since I met you. Let's fucking do this. So John Lee Alex and I, we do the thing, we do the workshop, we make out, it's super hot, it's super great. And then John Lee Alex is like, let's transition this into real life. And I'm like, that's a great idea. And John Lee Alex also has a partner name. Someone, give me another gender neutral name. Robin Billy Sam. So John Lee Alex has a partner, Robin Billy Sam, and they're a couple. And then John Lee Alex brings Robin Billy Sam to the concert another night, and then Robin Billy Sam raises their hand for the consent workshop, and then I get to make out with them, and then it establishes the ground rules for our relation. And John Lee Alex and Robin Lee Sam. I already forgot the name. Fuck. Robin Sam Lee. Lee Sam. Billy Bob Thornton. And so I get to be their unicorn, and it's so perfect and awesome. And it's like, this is all I wanted my art to ever do, is to just get me like hot sex for days. Yeah. And then all the reviews. So while I'm living in the best time of my life, the reviews are coming out, and I have to say, being a sex-positive theater maker is holding so many complexities and so many different identities, and it's so at odds with each other that I'm constantly like, I just don't know where I fit into the theater world, because I think that it's become sterile in so many ways. And when I read theater critique, I'm like, they have sterilized it. And all these reviews were coming out, and all this positive stuff was happening, and like the New York Times Critics' Pick thing happened. And I was still having this problem with all these like cisgendered, heteronormative writers, white, writing about my work as a queer, non-binary, femme-presenting artist of color. And when you have people from a different paradigm writing about your work, I came up with this theory that it's like, for every review that a heterosexual, white, cisgendered critic writes about a queer person of color's work, right? For every review that a straight, white, cisgendered critic writes about a queer person's colors of work, that critic owes them a sex toy. Like, that is reparations. That's like reparative damage for all the triggering shit you say, all the stuff that keeps us caged, all that, like, you are, like, if you are not in the business of liberation with me, then like, just get the fuck out of my way. And I was reading things like the Huffington Post, they sent some white male reviewer who, his first line was like, her hips were all in the right places. And I was just like, that's your theater critic, and you're the Huffington motherfucking Post? Shit's backwards. And even with the positive stuff, and I was finding that obviously my community understood why a lot of the things I was reading were hurtful. It's like they were comparing my work to a lot of white artists and white predecessors, which is never a good feeling. And I just thought the only way I can claim my space and reclaim my space is by actually claiming my space, and I need a fuck on stage. So our theater was amazing. Our stage was amazing. It was super bright and all my favorite colors, and turquoise and pink and yellow and shiny and streamers and Christmas lights. And I already forgot their name. John Paul Simon? What was it? The first person. Billy Bob Thornton #1. Okay, Billy Bob Thornton #1, the first person, right? They were like, let's go on a date. And I was like, absolutely, let's go on a date on stage. Let's have a sleepover in the theater. I have the keys. Let's have a sexy date on stage. to claim space and queer the world. I mean, there was a whole banner in the concert that was like, queer the world. And the night before, the stage manager and I, we had like a picnic on stage with the creative team, and the stage manager and I, we were picking out like the sex lighting of like what it needs to look like. And we're going through all the light cues, and it's like too bright, too whatever. And we finally settled on this like pink and blue, like so dreamy, so good. And I brought like my comforters and my pillows, and I just made the stage a bed. And Billy Bob Thornton 1 came over, and we ate pizza, and we fucked on stage, and we slept over. And we had a sleepover, and they had to leave for work the next morning, and I slept in the dressing room on the equity cot. And I was like, they'll understand. They'll just think I was like doing rewrites or something. And I slept until like 1 p.m. And like people, when people got to the theater to work or whatever, it was like, oh, Diana's like sleeping in the dressing room, not a big deal. And it was a thing that I needed to do to take care of myself, to keep going. You know, because I do feel like every time I have sex, it's a radical act of queering space and liberation and all that good stuff. So keep fucking. Is the moral of that story. Yeah!
Thank you, Diana.
And one more. One really quick one.
Oh, I'm ready.
And this was the original one that I was going to tell. So this was the one that I came in to tell, and I'll tell it really quick. I recently performed at WNYC for NPR subscribers. They brought me in, and I'm sure they brought me in to do music, but I didn't want to do music because I was feeling really, really burnt out. And I was like, so what else can I do? And so then I decided that I was going to use the stage and my stage time to turn the room into an audience dating pool, and to put myself out there in front of a room full of people, of hundreds of people, to just put myself out there and be like, I'm looking for a hot date. Who's interested? To a room full of NPR subscribers. I should have freaking known. And so I put myself out there, and like I was just like, here's how I identify as queer. What does that mean? That means like any gender, I'll go for it. And it's like cis, non-binary, questioning, heteros, I'll fuck heteros. Like, I'm looking for hot sex. What does hot sex mean? It's me. What does hot sex mean?
Ooh.
What's it mean to you?
So I'm a little bit on the demisexual spectrum. So to be connected with someone in a way that is beyond the physical, that feels either cosmic or emotional or energetic, in a way that there's something else vibrating besides my physical features. That's hot sex to me.
Agreed. Agreed. And that's what I was looking for that night when I put myself out there. And then I asked the room, so is anybody interested? And it was silence. Complete silence. And I was just like, listen, I'm all I'm doing is publicly stating what I would have been doing privately, right? Which is like turning this room into my dating pool to be like, who would I hit on?
So good.
Or flirt with. Silence. And it was a really interesting thing of I'm just not used to no audience participation, So then I ended up, I had my phone, I call it the Post-it experiment. I had my number written on a bunch of Post-its, and I just was like, fine, if you can't meet me halfway and come to me, then I'll have to come to you. And I just ended up passing out my number to people who I thought were sexy. And the results of the Post-it experiment is I talked to a really hot psychotherapist, and he was like, that was so interesting. What was the impetus for this for this performance? And I was like, it's not gonna work between us. And then I got a text message for an application for a grant. Yeah, thank you. I'll let you know how it goes. If I win, everyone gets to go to dinner. We all get to go. And then I got some photos sent to me, not dick pics. They were like photos from like someone took photos of the stage. And then I got a collaborator. And we're going to be making music together. No hot dates. But I put myself out there, and those are the things that I got.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you, Diana. Oh, so good. Thank you.
Thank you. Now what?
This episode was mixed and mastered by Irving Goddori. Find him for all your audio needs at igrecording.com. My intro music was composed by Alan Markley, Plastic Cannons on Instagram, and my cover art was designed by Shauna Shea, whom you can hire on 99 Designs. Until next time, may you have someone to love, something to do, and something to look forward to. This week, I'm looking forward to experimenting with co-working at The Wing and seeing some immersive theater. Get your tickets for this Sunday night's Horizontal and Chill through the link in my email missive, the Facebook page, the Instagram bio, or on horizontalwithlila.com. And thank you for getting horizontal.
Diana.